Most of you here have all lived with a roommate at some point or another. And I'm sure that you've also found out that living with a roommate, you often have a lot of interesting discussions. Well, the other day I was talking to my roommate about the solution presentation, and I was telling her how current methane gas detection technologies are flawed because they are unable to differentiate between the unnecessary methane gas produced by the energy industry and the necessary methane gas that's produced by cows. Well, whenever I told her this, her first response to me was, "Stacy, it's simple. Just kill all the cows." Well, while that is a viable option to decrease overall methane gas emissions, I personally would prefer to keep the main source of steak around for as long as possible, so I decided to look into different methane gas detection technologies. In my last presentation, I discussed how methane gas is more dangerous to our environment than carbon dioxide, and how its odorless and colorless qualities make it virtually undetectable in our environment. On top of that, many natural gas pipelines are located in rural environments where farm animals such as cows, sheep, and goats produce methane gas as part of their digestive cycles. Being a chemical engineering major and with a special interest in energy and fuels, and being a farm girl living in an area of rapidly expanding Marcellus shale natural gas production, I decided to look into different methane gas detection technologies, and I have found that infrared cameras are not only effective at detecting methane gas leaks, but also decrease the time it takes to locate and repair these leaks. In today's presentation, I would like to discuss how infrared cameras work, why infrared cameras are better than current methane detection technologies, and how they can be implemented in the energy industry. So let's begin by talking about how infrared cameras work. Methane gas, just like any other gas, absorbs light at a specific wavelength and frequency. This wavelength and frequency lies outside of the visible color spectrum and is the reason why we cannot see methane gas. However, infrared cameras can be set to see images in the infrared wavelength range and frequency, and then convert these images into images that we can see. On the left-hand side here is a picture of a petroleum storage tank. This picture was taken by the Clean Air Task Force with a regular point-and-shoot camera. This picture on the right-hand side is the exact same petroleum storage tank, but this picture was taken with an infrared camera. And that black plume of smoke that's circled in yellow right here is methane gas leaking from the petroleum storage tank. One of the members of the Clean Air Task Force, Jonathan Banks, has stated that current methane gas detection technologies are effective at determining the size and concentration of methane gas leaks, but each detector requires individual maintenance and testing, making it an overall time-consuming and expensive technology. Infrared cameras, however, are able to detect methane gas leaks in real time, allowing for operators to respond to gas leaks sooner rather than later. On top of that, many infrared cameras are integrated with GPS technology, allowing for operators to pinpoint the location of the leak on screen before sending somebody out into the field to fix the leak. This is much better than the current methods of fixing methane gas leaks, which is a guess and check type of method. So if infrared cameras are effective at detecting methane gas and decrease the time it takes to locate and repair these leaks, then how can we implement them in the energy industry? The Environmental Defense Fund has stated that current methane gas detection technologies have given rise to a brand new industry called the methane mitigation industry, also known as leak detection and repair services. LDAR companies are subcontracted by larger gas companies to complete routine checks and maintenance on natural gas pipelines, storage tanks, anything involved with the natural gas industry. And the cost that it is typically more cost effective for the gas companies to pay for these LDAR services than it is to pay to train their own employees to do the job. And on top of that, the money that is saved by repairing methane gas leaks sooner is typically enough to either offset the cost of using LDAR services or enough to pay completely for using LDAR services. However, the issue right now with using LDAR services and implementing infrared cameras is that the only way to do it is expensive. The main methods of doing it right now is by having somebody walk along natural gas pipeline routes with an infrared camera, which is both time consuming and expensive because you typically have to pay somebody an hourly wage to walk along the pipeline routes, or you can fly a helicopter over pipeline routes. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette has published an article talking about LDAR services in Pittsburgh, and they have stated that the cost of using a helicopter for LDAR services is approximately $2,000 per hour. That's really expensive. But the nice thing is, there is a cheaper way to do it, and it would be by attaching infrared cameras to drones and flying those above natural gas pipeline routes. Drones can fly for an hour and a half on as little as $3 worth of gasoline. But the issue with drones right now is that the Federal Aviation Administration has currently placed a ban on the commercial usage of drones, except for a few rare circumstances such as offshore drilling. However, the good news is legislation involving drones is a relatively gray area, and the Federal Aviation Administration is supposed to review and update their legislation on drone commercialization by the end of 2015. In conclusion, infrared cameras work by taking infrared images and converting them into grayscale images that we can see. The GPS technology that is used in these cameras allows for faster location and repair times of leaks. Unfortunately, the methods of implementing infrared cameras as of right now are rather expensive, but cheaper technologies are always being developed, and the money that is saved by keeping methane gas within the energy industry is typically enough to offset the cost of using infrared cameras in LDAR services. One of the most important things that I've neglected to mention this entire presentation is that infrared cameras allow the operators to differentiate between the unnecessary methane gas produced by the energy industry and the necessary methane gas that's produced by cows. Overall, infrared cameras decrease the time it takes to detect, locate, and repair methane gas leaks, and as a result can save us money, the environment, and last but certainly not least, the cows. Thank you.